What's the secret to a peaceful and happy life after 65? Have you ever found yourself asking, how can I truly embrace this golden phase of my life? Or, what changes can I make to live a peaceful and fulfilling life as I get older? You're not alone. Many of us wonder how to navigate the later years with ease, joy, and contentment. The truth is, the secret to a happier life after 65 often lies in the things we hold on to, physical, emotional, and mental clutter, that no longer serve us. But when we let go of these burdens, we open ourselves up to the possibility of living a life that is not only peaceful, but also full of purpose, love, and laughter. If you've ever struggled with feeling overwhelmed by the weight of old habits, relationships that no longer nurture you, or unrealistic expectations about how life should be, this video is for you. We'll guide you through the process of recognizing and releasing these things, step by step. Whether you're looking for inner peace, more harmonious relationships, or simply a lighter heart, this guide will provide you with the insights and tools you need to take action. This isn't just another theoretical discussion. Unlike other videos that simply discuss ideas, this one is designed to offer you a practical, actionable plan to improve your life. We'll not only talk about the things you need to let go of, but we'll also show you how to do it. Through real-life examples, relatable stories, and easy-to-follow strategies, you'll learn exactly how to shed the mental and emotional baggage that might be holding you back. This step-by-step guide will help you identify the specific habits, mindsets, and routines that you might be unintentionally clinging to, making it difficult to move forward and live freely. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how to let go of unnecessary burdens and make room for joy, peace, and fulfillment in your life every single day. Your support makes a difference. If you find value in this video and feel that it can help others in your life, don't hesitate to like and share it. Sharing this with others who are on the same journey of self-discovery and personal growth not only helps them, but also motivates us to continue creating content that is meaningful and impactful. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss an inspiring video that could change the way you look at life. Together, we can continue to grow, learn, and live our best lives, no matter our age. Now, let's dive into the first thing you should let go of after 65 for a happier life. It all starts with the mindset. You might be holding on to something that is robbing you of peace without even realizing it. In this video, we'll show you how letting go of certain things can completely transform your outlook and help you create the peaceful, happy life you deserve. Stay tuned to uncover the first thing you should release and why it's so crucial for your happiness. Letting go of perfectionism. Why perfectionism hurts more than it helps. Perfectionism is often celebrated in youth. It drives ambition, fuels success, and motivates individuals to strive for excellence. However, as you age, particularly after 65, the relentless pursuit of perfection can become a burden rather than a blessing. The pressure to meet impossibly high standards can lead to stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction, leaving little room for enjoyment or relaxation. Instead of embracing life's simpler pleasures, you might find yourself constantly striving for an ideal that is difficult, if not impossible, to achieve. At a certain point, perfectionism can start to take a toll on your well-being. The fear of making mistakes or falling short of your own expectations can overshadow the joy of living fully in the present moment. After years of striving for perfection, it becomes clear that it is the acceptance of imperfection and the ability to let go of rigid standards that often bring true peace and fulfillment. Storytime, take Jack for example. At 68, Jack was known in his neighborhood for his immaculate garden. He spent hours each week meticulously trimming the hedges, ensuring the grass was perfectly mowed, and comparing his garden to the neighbors' yards. He believed that if his garden was flawless, it would reflect his success and careful attention to detail. Yet, this constant striving for perfection left him exhausted and irritable. His energy was drained by the need to maintain an ideal that never felt quite right. It wasn't until Jack decided to let go of his need for perfection that he truly began to enjoy his time outdoors. Instead of obsessing over the perfect arrangement of flowers, he allowed the leaves to fall naturally and embraced a more relaxed approach to gardening. He planted wildflowers, allowing them to grow freely, and found himself spending more time sitting in the garden, enjoying the breeze and the beauty of nature. In embracing imperfection, Jack discovered a new sense of peace and satisfaction, which ultimately brought him more joy than any flawless garden ever could. How to let go of perfectionism. Letting go of perfectionism starts with setting more realistic expectations. Perfection is often a moving target that, even when achieved, leaves little room for satisfaction. Instead of striving for perfection in every task or aspect of your life, aim for good enough. This shift in mindset helps to take the pressure off, allowing you to appreciate the process rather than focusing solely on the outcome. Imperfection is what makes life unique and beautiful. Each flaw tells a story and adds character to your experiences. Another important step in overcoming perfectionism is to shift your focus from the end result to the joy of the process itself. Whether you're cooking a meal, painting, or gardening, it's essential to enjoy the experience, not just the finished product. For example, when baking a cake, allow yourself to savor the simple pleasure of mixing ingredients, the aroma filling your kitchen, and the joy of sharing the result with loved ones. Don't let the appearance of the cake or the idea of it being perfect detract from the happiness of the moment. Practicing self-compassion is also a crucial part of letting go of perfectionism. It's easy to fall into the trap of being overly critical of yourself, especially when things don't go as planned. The key is to pause and reflect on how you would treat a dear friend in a similar situation. Would you be as harsh with them as you are with yourself? Replace self-criticism with kinder, more encouraging words. Remind yourself that it's okay to make mistakes, and those mistakes don't define your worth or ability to enjoy life. Daily practice. Celebrate small wins. One practical way to begin letting go of perfectionism is to celebrate small wins each day. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on something positive you accomplished, no matter how small it may seem. It could be as simple as taking a walk, cooking a healthy meal, or reaching out to a friend. Recognizing and celebrating these small victories helps to shift your focus from what went wrong to what went right, building a sense of gratitude and contentment. By acknowledging your successes, no matter how minor, you cultivate a mindset that values progress over perfection. Practical example. If you love painting, try creating something abstract instead of striving for photorealism. Abstract art allows you to express yourself freely without the pressure of creating a perfect representation. This practice not only helps you break free from perfectionism in art, but also serves as a metaphor for life. Things don't have to be perfect to be meaningful or beautiful. Embrace the imperfections in your work, in your relationships, and in yourself. Encouraging words, letting go of perfectionism, doesn't mean lowering your standards or abandoning the things that matter to you. Instead, it's about freeing yourself from the unnecessary stress of trying to control every aspect of your life. Embrace the joy that comes from simply being, without the need for everything to be flawless. Life is messy, unpredictable, and full of surprises. By accepting imperfection, you open yourself up to a more peaceful, fulfilling existence, one where you can enjoy the beauty of the journey rather than focusing solely on the destination. Why perfectionism hurts more than it helps. Perfectionism is often celebrated in youth. It drives ambition, fuels success, and motivates individuals to strive for excellence. However, as you age, particularly after 65, the relentless pursuit of perfection can become a burden rather than a blessing. The pressure to meet impossibly high standards can lead to stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction, leaving little room for enjoyment or relaxation. Instead of embracing life's simpler pleasures, you might find yourself constantly striving for an ideal that is difficult, if not impossible, to achieve. At a certain point, perfectionism can start to take a toll on your well-being. The fear of making mistakes or falling short of your own expectations can overshadow the joy of living fully in the present moment. After years of striving for perfection, it becomes clear that it is the acceptance of imperfection and the ability to let go of rigid standards that often bring true peace and fulfillment. Story time. Take Jack, for example. At 68, Jack was known in his neighborhood for his immaculate garden. He spent hours each week meticulously trimming the hedges, ensuring the grass was perfectly mowed, and comparing his garden to the neighbors' yards. He believed that if his garden was flawless, it would reflect his success and careful attention to detail. Yet, this constant striving for perfection left him exhausted and irritable. His energy was drained by the need to maintain an ideal that never felt quite right. It wasn't until Jack decided to let go of his need for perfection that he truly began to enjoy his time outdoors. Instead of obsessing over the perfect arrangement of flowers, he allowed the leaves to fall naturally and embraced a more relaxed approach to gardening. He planted wildflowers, allowing them to grow freely, and found himself spending more time sitting in the garden, enjoying the breeze and the beauty of nature. In embracing imperfection, Jack discovered a new sense of peace and satisfaction, which ultimately brought him more joy than any flawless garden ever could. How to let go of perfectionism. Letting go of perfectionism starts with setting more realistic expectations. Perfection is often a moving target that, even when achieved, leaves little room for satisfaction. Instead of striving for perfection in every task or aspect of your life, aim for good enough. This shift in mindset helps to take the pressure off, allowing you to appreciate the process rather than focusing solely on the outcome. Imperfection is what makes life unique and beautiful. Each flaw tells a story and adds character to your experiences. Another important step in overcoming perfectionism is to shift your focus from the end result to the joy of the process itself. Whether you're cooking a meal, painting, or gardening, it's essential to enjoy the experience, not just the finished product. For example, when baking a cake, allow yourself to savor the simple pleasure of mixing ingredients, the aroma filling your kitchen, and the joy of sharing the result with loved ones. Don't let the appearance of the cake or the idea of it being perfect detract from the happiness of the moment. Practicing self-compassion is also a crucial part of letting go of perfectionism. It's easy to fall into the trap of being overly critical of yourself, especially when things don't go as planned. The key is to pause and reflect on how you would treat a dear friend in a similar situation. Would you be as harsh with them as you are with yourself? Replace self-criticism with kinder, more encouraging words. Remind yourself that it's okay to make mistakes, and those mistakes don't define your worth or ability to enjoy life. Daily practice. Celebrate small wins. One practical way to begin letting go of perfectionism is to celebrate small wins each day. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on something positive you accomplished, no matter how small it may seem. It could be as simple as taking a walk, cooking a healthy meal, or reaching out to a friend. Recognizing and celebrating these small victories helps to shift your focus from what went wrong to what went right, building a sense of gratitude and contentment. By acknowledging your successes, no matter how minor, you cultivate a mindset that values progress over perfection. Practical example. If you love painting, try creating something abstract instead of striving for photorealism. Abstract art allows you to express yourself freely without the pressure of creating a perfect representation. This practice not only helps you break free from perfectionism in art, but also serves as a metaphor for life. Things don't have to be perfect to be meaningful or beautiful. Embrace the imperfections in your work, in your relationships, and in yourself. Encouraging words. Letting go of perfectionism doesn't mean lowering your standards or abandoning the things that matter to you. Instead, it's about freeing yourself from the unnecessary stress of trying to control every aspect of your life. Embrace the joy that comes from simply being, without the need for everything to be flawless. Life is messy, unpredictable, and full of surprises. By accepting imperfection, you open yourself up to a more peaceful, fulfilling existence. One where you can enjoy the beauty of the journey rather than focusing solely on the destination. Why negativity is toxic. Negativity can act as a heavy weight on your life, clouding your perspective and preventing you from fully experiencing the beauty and joy that surrounds you. It creeps into your thoughts through holding on to grudges, constantly complaining about things that are beyond your control, or focusing excessively on what's wrong in your life. While these thoughts may seem harmless or even justified in certain situations, they can gradually drain your energy, leaving you feeling defeated and helpless. In turn, this negative energy can begin to alienate the very people you care about, straining relationships and fostering a sense of isolation. When negativity takes root, it becomes like a shadow that blocks out the light in your life. It becomes harder to see the good when you're constantly focused on what's wrong. This negative mindset not only limits your personal happiness, but can also diminish the quality of your interactions with others. The good news is that it is possible to break free from this cycle and rediscover a more positive, fulfilling approach to life. By shifting your mindset, you open the door to a world of possibilities that can bring peace, joy, and better connections with those around you. Story time. Take Susan's story, for example. At 72, Susan found herself trapped in the past. She frequently lamented about the good old days and often criticized the world for being different from what it once was. Over time, this habitual negativity began to take a toll on her relationships. Her family and friends grew tired of hearing her complaints, and they started avoiding her company. Susan didn't initially realize the impact of her words and attitude until she found herself more and more isolated, feeling disconnected from the people she loved. It wasn't until she made a conscious effort to change her perspective that her relationships began to improve. Instead of focusing on what was wrong or what had changed, Susan shifted her mindset to look for the positives in her daily life. She started to appreciate small moments with her family, finding joy in simple conversations and activities. By making an effort to focus on the positive aspects of life, Susan found herself feeling happier and more connected, not only to those around her, but also to her own sense of well-being. How to let go of negativity. The first step in letting go of negativity is identifying the triggers that lead to negative thoughts. Pay attention to when these thoughts arise and what sparks them. Is it certain people, particular situations, or the news that tends to bring out your pessimistic side? By becoming more aware of these triggers, you can take proactive steps to limit their impact on your life. Understanding why you feel negative is crucial to breaking free from that cycle. Once you've identified the triggers, it's important to reframe the narrative in your mind. When negative thoughts emerge, take a moment to challenge them. Ask yourself, is this situation truly as bad as I think it is? And what's one positive thing I can focus on instead? This reframing technique allows you to shift your focus from problems to possibilities, helping you create a more balanced and realistic view of your circumstances. Over time, this practice can help retrain your brain to focus on the positives, even when challenges arise. Another effective way to combat negativity is by surrounding yourself with positivity. The people you interact with, the media you consume, and the environments you place yourself in all have a significant influence on your mindset. Spend time with uplifting people who inspire and encourage you. Listen to podcasts or read books that bring you joy and motivation. By intentionally curating a positive environment, you create the space for more positive thoughts and emotions to flourish. Daily practice. Gratitude. Journaling, one of the most powerful tools for combating negativity, is gratitude journaling. Each morning or evening, take a few minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for. It might seem like a small practice, but it has the potential to shift your mindset in profound ways. This simple habit encourages you to focus on what you have rather than what you lack. It trains your mind to recognize blessings, even in the midst of challenges. The more you practice gratitude, the more you begin to notice the good things in your life, no matter how small they may seem. Practical example. Consider a situation where you're dealing with a health issue, such as arthritis. It's easy to become fixated on what's wrong and feel frustrated or defeated. However, instead of dwelling on the pain, try to focus on what's still going right. For example, you might say to yourself, "I may have arthritis, but I'm grateful I can still go for short walks and enjoy the fresh air." Shifting your focus in this way not only helps you find peace, but also reminds you that even in challenging times, there are still things to be grateful for. Encouraging words. Negativity doesn't just affect your mood. It can have a broader impact on your overall health and your relationships with others. It creates a cycle of dissatisfaction that can prevent you from experiencing joy and peace. By letting go of negativity, you open the door to greater gratitude, deeper connections, and a more peaceful state of mind. The simple act of choosing to focus on the positive can significantly improve your well-being and create a ripple effect that spreads positivity to those around you. Letting go of negativity doesn't mean ignoring life's difficulties or pretending that everything is perfect. It means choosing to see beyond the challenges and focus on the good that exists in every moment. By making this shift, you create space for more happiness, love, and connection in your life. Why seeking approval can hold you back at any stage of life. The need for external validation can be exhausting. It can feel like a constant quest to meet other people's expectations, leaving little room for your own desires, needs, and sense of self. As you grow older, especially after 65, clinging to the approval of others can prevent you from fully embracing your authentic self. It can make you feel as if you are living life for someone else, chasing approval instead of fulfillment. The pursuit of validation can be a heavy burden that clouds your ability to experience true contentment. By letting go of the need for approval, you unlock the freedom to focus on what truly matters to you. You begin to live life on your own terms, not based on someone else's vision of who you should be. This shift brings a deeper sense of satisfaction and a greater connection to your true self. Living authentically not only benefits your emotional well-being, but also fosters more genuine relationships. When you stop seeking approval, you create space for self-love, self-expression, and personal growth. Take Ravi's story, for example. At 69, Ravi had spent much of his life trying to meet his children's expectations of being the perfect grandparent. He always said yes to requests, even when it meant sacrificing his own peace of mind. He spent countless hours babysitting, attending events he didn't enjoy, and generally putting everyone else's needs before his own. Although he loved his family, he realized that in his attempts to please them, he had lost touch with what made him truly happy. He felt stressed and resentful, and over time, this began to take a toll on his health and overall well-being. It wasn't until Ravi decided to have a heart-to-heart conversation with his family that things started to change. He expressed his need for more personal time and explained his boundaries with kindness and honesty. To his relief, his family respected his wishes and began to understand his desire for balance. With this newfound freedom, Ravi rediscovered his love for painting, a passion he had long neglected. No longer trapped by the pressure to constantly seek approval, he was able to enjoy life on his own terms and reconnect with his creative side. How to let go of the need for approval. The first step in letting go of the need for approval is to understand your values. Take time to reflect on what truly matters to you. What are the principles or ideals that guide your life? It's helpful to write these down and use them as a reference when making decisions. When you have a clear sense of your values, you are less likely to be swayed by others' opinions and more likely to make choices that align with your true self. Setting boundaries is another crucial step in freeing yourself from the need for approval. It can be difficult at first, especially if you're used to always saying yes, but learning to say no is essential for preserving your peace of mind and your sense of self. It's important to communicate your boundaries politely but firmly. For example, instead of feeling obligated to help with everything, you might say, "I'd love to help, but I'm taking some time for myself this weekend." Setting these boundaries allows you to prioritize your own well-being and prevents you from becoming overwhelmed by others' demands. Another powerful way to let go of the need for approval is to focus on self-approval. Instead of constantly seeking validation from others, ask yourself, does this decision feel right to me? By shifting your focus inward and trusting your own judgment, you begin to value your own opinion over the opinions of others. This fosters self-confidence and a deeper connection to your authentic self. Daily practice. Positive affirmations. A simple yet effective way to nurture self-approval is through daily positive affirmations. Begin each day by telling yourself affirmations like, "I am enough," or "I value myself and my choices." These affirmations serve as reminders that your worth is not determined by external validation, but by your own sense of self-worth. Repeating these affirmations can help reprogram your mind to focus on your strengths and capabilities, reducing your reliance on the approval of others. Over time, you'll find that you feel more secure in your decisions and more confident in your ability to navigate life without seeking external validation. Practical example. Let's say you're invited to an event that you don't want to attend. In the past, you may have felt compelled to say yes in order to please others. But now, with your new mindset, you can practice responding kindly, but firmly. For example, you might say, "Thank you for inviting me, but I'm not able to make it. I hope it goes well." This response shows respect for the invitation without compromising your own needs. Over time, you'll become more comfortable with making decisions that honor your time, energy, and personal preferences, rather than trying to please others. Encouraging words. Your happiness and fulfillment are more important than anyone's fleeting approval. It's easy to get caught up in the need for external validation, especially in our later years when we may feel the pressure to conform to societal expectations. However, by letting go of this need, you'll discover a deeper sense of freedom and self-worth. Living authentically, guided by your own values and desires, will bring you a sense of peace and satisfaction that can't be found through the approval of others. Remember, you are enough just as you are. Letting go of the need for approval isn't about being selfish or disregarding others. It's about honoring your own needs, desires, and boundaries. By living life on your own terms, you create a more fulfilling and peaceful existence, filled with authentic connections and a deeper sense of self-love. Why resentment is a heavy burden. Resentment is one of those emotions that can weigh heavily on your heart, like a stone you carry with you everywhere. Whether it's directed at people, situations, or even yourself, resentment doesn't just hurt the person you're angry at, it harms you the most. It drains your emotional energy, keeping you stuck in the past and preventing you from fully embracing the present. The longer you hold on to resentment, the more it festers, leaving you exhausted, bitter, and disconnected from the joy that could be yours. Letting go of resentment isn't about excusing others or justifying their actions. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional prison you've built around yourself. It's a step toward reclaiming your peace and happiness. Take Maria's story, for example. At 70 years old, Maria was still carrying a deep resentment toward an old friend who had betrayed her decades ago. Every time she thought about friendship or trust, the bitterness resurfaced, clouding her thoughts and emotions. This resentment wasn't just confined to her memories, it influenced how she interacted with others, making it difficult for her to trust new people. The weight of that anger kept her isolated, unable to form new, fulfilling relationships. It wasn't until Maria decided to face her feelings head-on that things began to change. She chose to release the anger, by writing a letter to her old friend. A letter she never intended to send. The simple act of putting her emotions down on paper, expressing everything she had kept bottled up for so long, was incredibly liberating. As she let go of the resentment, Maria began to feel lighter, more open, and ready to welcome new relationships into her life. How to let go of resentment. The first step in letting go of resentment is acknowledging your feelings. It's important not to suppress or deny the anger and hurt you're feeling. Facing these emotions head-on can be uncomfortable, but it's the only way to release them. Take the time to write down your feelings and examine what's fueling them. Is it an unresolved conflict, a deep sense of betrayal, or maybe feelings of injustice? By identifying the source of your resentment, you can begin to understand it better and start the process of healing. Another key step is practicing empathy. Try to see the situation from the other person's perspective. Ask yourself, why might they have acted that way? This doesn't mean you're excusing their behavior or saying it was okay. It simply helps you understand the situation from a broader point of view, allowing you to detach your emotions from it. Understanding that people's actions are often shaped by their own struggles or insecurities can give you a sense of perspective that softens the emotional charge of resentment. Forgiveness is a critical part of letting go of resentment. But it's important to understand that forgiveness is not the same as forgetting or reconciling with the person who wronged you. Forgiveness is about releasing the emotional grip that resentment has on you. It's about giving yourself the freedom to move forward without being tethered to the past. Forgiveness is an act of self-compassion, a way of prioritizing your own peace over the need for justice or retribution. You might say to yourself, I let this go for my peace. By forgiving, you are choosing to free yourself from the burden of anger and resentment, no matter how justified those feelings may have seemed at the time. Release rituals. A helpful daily practice to aid in letting go of resentment is using release rituals. These rituals serve as symbolic acts of releasing negative emotions. One simple practice is to write down your grievances on a piece of paper and then tear it up or burn it safely. This physical act can have a powerful emotional release, helping you to see that your anger doesn't have to control you. The symbolism of letting go, of destroying the paper, or watching it disintegrate in the flames, helps you visualize your emotional release, making it a tangible experience rather than just an abstract idea. You can repeat this ritual whenever you feel resentment resurfacing, reinforcing your commitment to emotional freedom. If you're struggling with resentment towards someone who has wronged you, journaling can be an excellent tool for processing your feelings. Start by writing down everything you wish you could say to that person. Express your anger, hurt, disappointment, and any other emotions that arise. The key is that this letter is for you, not for them. You don't need to send it. The act of writing it is what helps you release the feelings tied to the resentment. By putting your emotions into words, give yourself the space to process and let go of those feelings without needing to confront the other person. Resentment is a powerful emotion, but it anchors you to the past, preventing you from fully experiencing the present moment. Holding on to resentment keeps you emotionally stuck, unable to move forward and embrace the possibilities of your life today. When you let go of resentment, you open the door to emotional freedom, inner peace, and new opportunities for growth. By releasing the grip of resentment, you make room for love, forgiveness, and joy. Your life is happening right now, in the present, and by letting go of past hurts, you are freeing yourself to live it fully. The process of letting go may take time, and it's okay to take small steps. But remember, every step you take toward releasing resentment is a step toward emotional healing and greater peace. The more you let go, the more you will feel the weight lifting from your heart, leaving you with a renewed sense of freedom and possibility. Letting go of fear of change. Why embracing change is essential. Change often feels intimidating, especially as we age. The thought of shifting from the familiar to the unknown can stir up feelings of fear, uncertainty, and discomfort. However, resisting change can lead to stagnation and missed opportunities for growth. Embracing change, on the other hand, opens up new avenues for learning, connection, and personal growth. While it may seem easier to cling to what we know, letting go of the fear of change allows us to adapt, explore new horizons, and fully engage with life in ways we might never have imagined. The truth is that change is not something to fear, but something to embrace, as it brings with it the potential for unexpected joys and enriching experiences. Take David, for instance. At 71, David had lived in the same house for most of his life, a place filled with decades of memories. After the death of his wife, his children encouraged him to downsize and move to a smaller, more manageable home. The idea of leaving behind the house where he had raised his family and spent so many years felt overwhelming and emotionally charged. David resisted the idea, fearful that the change would strip him of his past and his sense of stability. But once he finally made the decision to move, he discovered an entirely new world waiting for him. In his new home, he found a vibrant, supportive community and was able to engage in new hobbies and activities that brought him joy. The burdens of maintaining a large house were lifted, and he felt lighter, both physically and emotionally. By embracing this significant change, David's life took on a renewed sense of purpose and excitement. His decision to let go of his fear opened doors to a richer, more fulfilling chapter of his life. How to let go of the fear of change. The first step in letting go of the fear of change is understanding that change is inevitable. Life is inherently dynamic, and nothing stays the same forever. Reflecting on past changes that initially seemed daunting can help you realize that change often brings about positive outcomes. Think back to moments in your life when a change you feared turned out better than you expected. By acknowledging your resilience and ability to adapt, you can remind yourself that you are capable of navigating change with strength and grace. Understanding that change is a natural part of life helps to lessen the fear and makes it easier to approach new situations with an open mind. Starting small is another key strategy in overcoming the fear of change. Begin with manageable changes that don't feel overwhelming. This could be something as simple as rearranging your living space, trying out a new recipe, or taking a different walking route. Small changes build confidence and prepare you for larger shifts down the road. These small steps also provide a sense of control and accomplishment, which can make it easier to face bigger changes when they arise. By gradually expanding your comfort zone, you become more accustomed to the idea of change and more willing to embrace it when it comes. When faced with a significant change, it's helpful to focus on the positives rather than the challenges. Shifting your perspective can make a big difference in how you experience change. For instance, if you're moving to a smaller home, instead of focusing on the loss of space, think about the reduced expenses, easier maintenance, and the opportunity to meet new neighbors. By identifying the potential benefits, you can create a more positive outlook on the change and look forward to the opportunities it presents. Focusing on the positives helps you see change not as a threat, but as a stepping stone toward a better and more fulfilling life. Daily practice. Visualization. Visualization is a powerful daily practice that can help ease the fear of change. Spend just 5 minutes a day imagining the best-case scenario of a change you fear. Picture yourself thriving in this new situation, experiencing joy, success, and a sense of peace. Visualizing yourself adapting and flourishing in the face of change helps reframe your mindset, turning what might initially feel like a threat into an exciting possibility. This positive visualization can reduce anxiety and help you feel more prepared for the change when it arrives. By consistently practicing this, you can shift your mindset from one of fear to one of opportunity, building confidence in your ability to embrace change. Practical example. If you're hesitant to try something new, such as taking up a hobby, breaking it down into smaller steps can help ease the process. For example, if you've always wanted to start painting, but feel intimidated by the idea of investing in expensive materials, begin with a small sketch pad and basic supplies. Attend a local class or watch online tutorials to ease into the process gradually. By taking small, manageable steps, you give yourself permission to explore without the pressure of having to be perfect from the start. This approach allows you to dip your toes into the new experience at your own pace, which can help diminish the fear and build excitement about the possibilities. Encouraging words. Change isn't something to fear, it's an opportunity in disguise. Every change, no matter how small or large, is a chance for personal growth, learning, and discovery. Letting go of the fear of change allows you to tap into your inner strength and adaptability, opening the door to new experiences and a deeper appreciation for life's evolving journey. By embracing change, you give yourself the freedom to explore new passions, forge new connections, and create a life that feels rich with possibility. Change might feel unsettling at first, but once you let go of the fear, you'll find that it's a powerful force for positive transformation. Life is constantly evolving, and by embracing its rhythms, you'll find yourself growing and thriving in ways you never thought possible. Letting go of unrealistic expectations. Why unrealistic expectations can steal your joy. As we age, we often carry with us a set of expectations about ourselves, others, and life. These expectations can be born out of past experiences, societal pressures, or personal desires. However, when these expectations are unrealistic, whether it's expecting others to act a certain way or holding yourself to impossible standards, they can lead to constant disappointment and frustration. Life, as we all know, is far from perfect, and when we hold on to unrealistic ideals, we may find ourselves perpetually dissatisfied. This constant struggle against reality not only steals our joy, but also robs us of the opportunity to appreciate the beauty of life as it truly is. By letting go of unrealistic expectations, we give ourselves the freedom to embrace life with all its imperfections, allowing us to experience more peace and joy. Maya, a 67-year-old grandmother, had long held high expectations about how often her grandchildren should visit her. She imagined that they would come over regularly, bringing joy and warmth into her home. But when they didn't visit as often as she hoped, Maya felt disheartened and disappointed. At first, she couldn't understand why they weren't fulfilling the role she had envisioned for them. However, over time, Maya realized that she had been placing unrealistic expectations on her grandchildren. They had their own busy lives, responsibilities, and commitments that kept them from visiting as often as she would have liked. Once Maya recognized this, she made a conscious decision to shift her focus. Instead of feeling sad about the visits that didn't happen, she began to cherish the precious moments they did share together. This change in perspective allowed her to find peace and joy in her relationships, embracing the reality of what was rather than holding on to what she had hoped for. Maya learned that by letting go of her unrealistic expectations, she could experience deeper, more fulfilling connections with those she loved. How to let go of unrealistic expectations. The first step in letting go of unrealistic expectations is recognizing what those expectations are. Take a moment to reflect on what you expect from yourself, others, and life in general. Are these expectations fair, reasonable, and flexible? Are they based on reality or on ideals that are impossible to meet? By becoming aware of your expectations, you can begin to identify which ones are setting you up for frustration and disappointment. This awareness is the first step toward freeing yourself from the grip of unrealistic demands. Once you've recognized your expectations, the next step is to adjust your perspective. Ask yourself, am I expecting perfection? It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that things or people should always meet certain standards, but the truth is that perfection is unattainable. Everyone, including yourself, is bound to make mistakes or fall short sometimes. Accepting that imperfections are a natural part of life can help you release the pressure you place on yourself and others. When you let go of the need for everything to be perfect, you open yourself up to experiencing the beauty in the imperfections that make life unique. Embracing flexibility is another important aspect of letting go of unrealistic expectations. Life rarely goes as planned, and being rigid in your expectations can create unnecessary stress and disappointment. By learning to accept that things may not always unfold the way you want them to, you give yourself the freedom to adapt and find joy in the unexpected. Life has a way of surprising us, and when we let go of the need for everything to go according to a specific plan, we are more likely to find happiness in the moments that arise spontaneously. Flexibility allows you to flow with life, making room for new experiences and opportunities to arise in unexpected ways. Daily practice. Mindfulness. One of the most effective daily practices to help you let go of unrealistic expectations is mindfulness. Spend just a few minutes each day focusing on the present moment. Mindfulness helps you release the mental chatter of what should be and brings you into the reality of what is. Instead of worrying about the future or regretting the past, mindfulness encourages you to embrace the here and now, appreciating life as it unfolds. This practice helps you release the tension that comes from constantly striving for something that may never come to fruition, allowing you to experience life more fully and with greater peace. Practical example. A common unrealistic expectation many of us have is the desire to maintain the same level of physical fitness we had when we were younger. Perhaps you once ran marathons or worked out intensely, but now, as you age, your body doesn't seem to cooperate in the same way. Rather than holding on to the expectation that you should still be able to do the same things, shift your focus to celebrating what your body can still do. Instead of aiming for perfection, aim for progress. Start with small, achievable goals, such as walking a bit farther each day or practicing gentle yoga. By setting realistic goals and celebrating the progress you make, you'll find greater satisfaction and joy in what your body can achieve now, rather than feeling frustrated by what it can't. Encouraging words. By letting go of unrealistic expectations, you free yourself to experience life more authentically. Instead of being trapped in a cycle of disappointment, you learn to embrace life with gratitude and acceptance. This shift in mindset brings more peace and fulfillment to your everyday life, as you start to appreciate what is, rather than focusing on what isn't. Life is full of beauty, but it's often hidden in the ordinary and the imperfect. When you let go of unrealistic expectations, you allow yourself to experience the richness of life as it is, messy, unpredictable, and beautiful. Embrace the imperfections, for they are what make life truly meaningful. Letting go of the fear of being alone. Why the fear of being alone can hold you back. As we age, the fear of loneliness can grow stronger, particularly after major life changes such as retirement, the passing of loved ones, or children moving away. This fear often arises from the misconception that being alone equals being lonely, which can create a sense of isolation and insecurity. In reality, solitude does not have to be synonymous with loneliness. In fact, learning to embrace and enjoy being alone can offer a multitude of benefits such as self-reflection, personal growth, and self-discovery. Letting go of the fear of being alone can help you reclaim your sense of independence and find fulfillment within yourself. It allows you to develop a deeper connection with your own thoughts, feelings, and passions, leading to a more meaningful and rewarding life. Helen, a 68-year-old woman, found herself struggling with the fear of being alone after her partner passed away. She feared that she would feel lost, disconnected, and forgotten by the world. Her mind was filled with worries about loneliness, and the prospect of spending her days without someone to share them with seemed daunting. However, as time passed, Helen began to explore ways to create a new life for herself. She started volunteering at a local animal shelter, where she not only kept busy, but also found a sense of purpose in caring for the animals. She also joined a book club, which allowed her to engage with others who shared her love of reading. Through these activities, Helen began to form new friendships and realized that being alone didn't have to mean being lonely. In fact, she found herself thriving in her newfound independence, enjoying her own company and building a fulfilling social network. Helen learned that the fear of being alone was not something she had to succumb to. Instead, It was an opportunity for her to embrace new experiences, discover new passions, and create meaningful connections. How to let go of the fear of being alone. The first step in letting go of the fear of being alone is to shift your perspective on loneliness. Often, we view solitude as an empty space or a void that needs to be filled. However, solitude can be a valuable and enriching time to reconnect with yourself. It offers you the chance to focus on your own hobbies, passions, and interests, allowing you to nurture your sense of self. Instead of fearing being alone, try to reframe it as an opportunity for self-reflection and personal growth. When you begin to see solitude as a time for your own well-being, it becomes easier to appreciate and enjoy the time you spend by yourself. While it's important to learn how to enjoy your own company, it's also essential to build new connections and cultivate a balanced social life. Being alone does not mean being isolated from the world. There are many opportunities to meet new people and form meaningful relationships. Consider joining clubs, attending community events, or taking up classes in areas that interest you. These activities can help you create new connections and expand your social network, making it easier to strike a balance between your solitary time and social engagements. Nurturing these new friendships and relationships will allow you to enrich your life without feeling dependent on others for your happiness. Embracing solo activities is another powerful way to combat the fear of being alone. When you engage in hobbies that you enjoy, such as painting, gardening, or writing, you not only keep yourself occupied, but also find fulfillment in the process. These activities allow you to connect with your inner self, focus on your creativity, and develop new skills. Engaging in solo hobbies can be incredibly rewarding and help you feel more content and focused on your own growth. Over time, you'll discover that being alone can be a source of joy and satisfaction rather than something to be feared. Daily practice. Self-compassion. A daily practice of self-compassion can be incredibly helpful in overcoming the fear of being alone. Spend a few minutes each day reminding yourself that your worth is not defined by your social circle or the number of people around you. It's okay to be by yourself and to enjoy your own company. Acknowledge the feelings that come up when you are alone, but don't judge yourself for them. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding as you would a dear friend. The more you practice self-compassion, the easier it becomes to embrace solitude and recognize its value in your life. Practical example. If you're apprehensive about dining alone, start with small steps to build comfort with your own company. For example, you could visit a local cafe during off-peak hours when it's quieter, bringing a book or simply enjoying the atmosphere around you. This gradual approach will help you overcome the initial discomfort of eating alone and allow you to appreciate the experience. Over time, you'll become more comfortable with being alone in public spaces, and you may even begin to enjoy the quiet moments of solitude that come with dining on your own. By taking small, manageable steps like this, you'll build confidence and break free from the fear of being alone. Encouraging words learning to embrace solitude is not a journey of isolation, but one of self-discovery and personal growth. When you let go of the fear of being alone, you open the door to a life filled with purpose and fulfillment, whether you are surrounded by others or enjoying time by yourself. Solitude can become a powerful tool for nurturing your inner self, exploring your passions, and finding peace within. Embracing your own company allows you to live a life that is rich in meaning and personal growth, and it gives you the freedom to cultivate deep, authentic connections with others on your own terms. So, take the first step today. Embrace your own presence and see the beauty that solitude can bring into your life. Letting go of unhealthy habits. Why letting go of unhealthy habits leads to a longer, happier life. As we age, the importance of taking care of our health becomes more apparent. Over the years, many of us develop habits that, while perhaps harmless, in our younger years, can become detrimental as we grow older. Unhealthy habits such as poor eating, lack of exercise, or staying up late can take a significant toll on both our bodies and minds. These habits may seem harmless at first, but they can gradually lead to a decline in energy, mood, and overall well-being. Letting go of these unhealthy habits doesn't have to mean making drastic changes. Rather, it involves taking small, manageable steps toward a healthier lifestyle. By committing to these changes, we can enjoy a longer, more vibrant life. John, at 72 years old, had spent much of his life smoking and eating junk food. For years, he had been living with these habits, not fully realizing how they were affecting his health. Over time, John began to feel sluggish, out of breath, and noticed a significant drop in his energy levels. After a routine checkup, his doctor informed him that his cholesterol levels were high, and this served as a wake-up call. Determined to improve his health, John decided to make small changes in his daily routine. Instead of reaching for a cigarette after lunch, he began taking a walk around the park, allowing himself to clear his mind and get some exercise. He also replaced his usual unhealthy snacks, like chips and candy, with healthier options such as fruit and nuts. These changes didn't lead to an immediate transformation, but over time, John noticed a steady improvement in his energy levels, mood, and overall health. He felt more alert, energized, and capable of doing more throughout the day. The process wasn't always easy, but by committing to these small, gradual changes, John began to feel better, and he gained a renewed sense of vitality and well-being. How to let go of unhealthy habits. The first step in letting go of unhealthy habits is to identify which habit you want to change and the triggers that lead you to engage in it. Whether it's smoking, eating junk food, or being inactive, it's important to recognize when and why these behaviors happen. Understanding the triggers can help you make more informed decisions about how to address them. For example, if you tend to snack on junk food when you're stressed, identifying this pattern can allow you to create healthier coping mechanisms for stress. Once you are aware of these triggers, you can start developing a plan to replace the habit with something healthier. Instead of focusing solely on removing the unhealthy habit, it's more effective to replace it with a healthier alternative. This approach helps avoid feelings of deprivation and creates a positive shift in your routine. For example, if you are trying to quit snacking on chips, try substituting them with vegetable sticks or fresh fruit. By replacing the unhealthy behavior with something more nourishing, you can satisfy the craving without harming your health. This replacement strategy helps to gradually phase out the negative habit while introducing healthier choices into your life. Starting small is key when trying to let go of unhealthy habits. Making drastic changes all at once can feel overwhelming and often leads to frustration. Instead, begin with small, manageable changes that you can maintain over time. For instance, if you want to exercise more, start by committing to just 10-minute daily walks and gradually increase the duration as you build stamina. The important thing is to be consistent. Don't expect overnight transformations. Progress is made through small, steady steps that add up over time, and it's essential to be patient with yourself as you work toward your goals. Daily practice. Gratitude for your health. A powerful way to stay motivated on your journey toward healthier habits is to practice gratitude for your body every day. Take a few moments each morning to express gratitude for the gift of your health and acknowledge the small steps you're taking toward improvement. By celebrating your progress, no matter how small, you reinforce the positive changes you're making. This practice helps you stay connected to your body's needs and encourages a mindset of appreciation, which can be a powerful tool in maintaining your commitment to healthier habits. Practical example. If you're trying to cut down on sugar, it's best to take it one step at a time. Start by reducing the amount of sugar you add to your coffee or tea and experiment with alternatives like honey or stevia. Gradually replace sugary snacks with healthier options such as nuts, yogurt, or fresh fruit. Over time, your taste buds will adapt, and you'll find yourself craving sugary treats less frequently. The key is to introduce gradual changes that feel sustainable and manageable, so you don't feel deprived. This slow step-by-step approach allows you to break free from unhealthy habits without overwhelming yourself. Encouraging words. Letting go of unhealthy habits is not about perfection. It's about honoring your body and making choices that support your long-term health and well-being. It's an act of self-love, where you choose to embrace new routines that will ultimately help you feel better each day. By taking small, consistent actions, you're investing in a healthier, happier future. The effort you put into improving your habits is an investment in your own vitality, and you are worth that effort. As you embrace new habits that nourish your body and mind, you'll find yourself feeling stronger, more energetic, and more in tune with your overall well-being. The process may take time, but every positive change you make brings you one step closer to living a longer, more fulfilling life. As we age, we often accumulate physical, emotional, and mental clutter that weighs us down. Letting go of these attachments, old grievances, unnecessary possessions, and unrealistic expectations frees us to embrace the present and make room for new experiences. Lena, at 75, realized her life was filled with things and feelings that no longer served her. By decluttering her home and letting go of past hurts, she discovered a new sense of peace and joy. Letting go isn't just about physical decluttering. It's about releasing fear, resentment, and negative habits, which opens the door to growth, healing, and deeper connections with others. The process of letting go is ongoing, but with each step, you create space for more fulfillment and happiness. Be patient with yourself. Release what no longer serves you, and trust that with each release, something better awaits. Letting go is your key to a vibrant, authentic life filled with peace and love.